computer. Okay, so good morning, class, and welcome to your credit and collection class. So today we'll discuss about the different sources and principles of credit. Again, talking about the Philippine credit environment. Okay, so let's define what a credit is. Credit is the trust extended by a lender to a borrower. It allows the borrower to receive money, goods or services now and pay later. So basically, um, credit is self-explanatory. So it's always based on trust that a lender, someone who lends money, extends to a borrower. No? So borrower is someone who needs money or borrows money for purpose for any purpose. No? So it could be business expansion, pay off debt, no? Purchase goods. So it allows the borrower to receive money, goods, or services now and pay later. No? So classic Philippine example would be a bank granting a personal loan payable in 12 months. No? So there's deferral of payment. So there are, well, we have listed here 11 major sources of credit in the Philippines. Now, so what we're going to do in the succeeding slides is we'll cover each of this source of credit and provide you with example, no? Again, using the Philippine environment. So let's talk about financial intermediaries first. So financial intermediaries, these are institutions that channel funds from savers to borrowers. No? So example is a bank, banks and cooperatives accepting deposits and lending to businesses. So notice class, financial intermediaries, they are simply the banks and cooperatives. No? So we deposit or we save money. Say for example, I have a deposit account in BPI and BDO. No? I am also a member of a cooperative, no? So I'm a member of two cooperatives, no? So we have well the one is a health cooperative based in Maribeles, Bataan. It's called Maheseco Credit Cooperative, no? So it's Maribeles Health uh, Cooperative. And there's also another cooperative from my prior company. No, it's called Pfizer Credit Cooperative. So now I'm still depositing money through these cooperatives. Now what they're doing is they're loaning it. No, they're lending it to other members. Of course, at an interest. No, so that's how they also create their revenue. No, so those how financial intermediaries work. Okay. Next, we have financial institutions. Organizations engage in financial transactions such as deposits and loans. Examples are BDO, BPI, and Land Bank in the Philippines. So again, financial institutions, again, for deposits and loans. So these are typical example of major sources of credits in the Philippines. Next, we have investment houses. Investment houses, these are firms that assist corporations in raising capital and issuing securities. So, example of this is the Philippine Investment Houses underwriting corporate bonds. Before we talk about also commercial banks assisting um, corporations, so Philippine corporations in um, securing capital, raising capital by means of it could be offering bonds or offering equity, no, to the public. No, so they engage with these commercial banks in order for them to get, a platform. No? So, for example, I myself have um, an account with RCBC. No, so especially RCBC, this is usually being engaged by the Philippine government, no, in issuing say different treasury fundings, no? So they engage with RCBC. RCBC will notify all of its clients, no, all of its depositors that we have this investment opportunities. So it's also the same way with other corporations in the Philippines, especially those publicly listed already in the secured in the Philippine Stock Exchange or PSE. No, so they engage with investment houses in order for them to raise more capital. Okay, next, commercial banking. So banks that provide deposit, loan, and other financial services to businesses and individuals. Example is Metrobank providing business loans to SMEs. Again, no, um, these are somewhat connected, no. So they're the same in such a way that they're mostly dealing with deposits, savings, and also extending loans to their clients. Rural banks. So we have urban banks or commercial banks, those banks that we are very familiar of. Then we have rural banks. No? So these are banks established to promote countryside development. No? So these are banks, for example, Rural Bank of Guinobatan lending to farmers. So in the province, you would usually see different rural banks. Again, their remit is to promote countryside development. No? So it's in the form of extending credit to farmers. So they would farmers would usually lend you would usually borrow money from rural banks, no, uh to finance their needs for fertilizers, their needs for seeds, no, in order for them to uh, continue with their farming activities. Next, we have individual money lenders. No? So these are private individuals lending money, usually short term and high interest. So classic example is 5-6. No? So our friends from India, they're very much engaged into this 5-6 lending system. It's very common, especially in the local markets. No? So 5-6, how this works. No? So that's why it's 5-6. So you they lend you 5, you pay 6. So that's how high the interest involved in this lending system. So these are private individuals, no? So it could be this is an informal credit. So it could be a lending activity between friends, families, or even just people who just want to explore opportunities. No? Again, these are short term but very high interest because of the fact that it's informal. It's high interest because there's also a high risk of non-payment, especially these are just transacted between individuals. Then we have commercial establishments. So these are retail companies extending credit to customers. Now, so famous examples of these are some appliance stores offering installment plans. Now, so we have Abenson, even SM Department Store, SM Appliance. So these are commercial establishments extending credits to customers. No? So when was it? I think last Saturday, Samsung launches new flagship Galaxy S26. No? So again, there are a lot of commercial establishments offering S26, S26 Ultra at an installment plan, and most of them, no, are zero interest. All right. Mm. Pawn shops. Pawn shop. These are institutions granting loans secured by personal property. So, for example, Cebuano Lulier, M. Lulier, accepting jewelry as collateral. So there are also smaller pawn shops. No? Because Cebuano Lulier and M. Lulier, these are, even Palawan. It's at Palawan Express or Palawan Pawn Shops. So these are the major pawn shops that we have in the Philippines. But there are also smaller pawn shops who would uh, extend credit to you by simply just securing your mobile phones, even watches. So that's pawn shop. Again, pawn shop is one of the source, one of the sources of credit in the Philippines. Insurance companies. So companies providing financial protection and sometimes lending against policies. So example would be policy loans from Sun Life Philippines. So in my case, I have insurance um, with Film Life, AXA, BPI. No? So again, it's an insurance policy, life insurance policy, but then there are also insurance companies who would extend lending, no, against your policy. No? So for example, you have already paid 5 years. So um, there's equivalent value out of the premium that you have already paid. Some insurance companies would let you lend money out of the premium, no, of the value of the premium that you have already paid. So that's why insurance companies can also be a source of credit. Okay. Savings and loan associations. So these are institutions that promote savings and provide home financing. So example of this is Pag-ibig Fund or the Home Development Mutual Fund. So I keep telling you about this. No, so as early as now, if you have money, instead of saving it instead of saving it to a commercial bank, so Pag-ibig is actually offering MP2. No, MP1 is the regular savings. So MP2 is another saving opportunity within Pag-ibig. And in fact, they just released their dividend for 2025, I think last Friday, if I'm not mistaken. It's really high compared to just, putting all your savings in the bank. But the catch here is you cannot actually withdraw money out of the MP2, no? So there's a holding period of 5 years. You have the option to get the dividend yearly or get it after 5 years altogether with the principal. So good thing about doing it, you know, getting the dividend after 5 years, it's going to compound. No? So it's going to Pag-ibig will pay you dividend um, from the principal, meaning your contribution, including the dividend. And so it's rolling and it's compounding. Okay, so institutions like Pag-ibig, SSS, no? So there are cases where they're also extending calamity loans. They're extending multipurpose loans or MPL, certain percentage of your contribution. I think for Pag-ibig, for example, um, they can extend you as much as 80% of your total savings. Uh, Let me just check because I have an app, Pag-ibig app right now, but I'm not going to show it to you. So let me just check if it's really 80%. Because that's the beauty of the technology right now. No? So before, in order for you to secure loans from these government institutions, you will still need to go to their offices. No? But right now, they actually have built platforms or mobile apps where you can uh, apply for multi-purpose loans, and they will actually notify you that you can loan. No? So yeah, it's actually not 80%. No, it's 90% of your total savings. So imagine if you are working for 10 years already, So the total savings, and since these are mandatory contributions, so it's 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 already deducted from your payroll. So you don't have a choice but to pay your contributions to these agencies. But at least you're accumulating it, and in fact, you can loan out of this contribution. There are terms, no? So it's between 12 months, 24 months, or 36 months at a lower interest, of course. Okay, so that's savings and loan association. Now let's talk about government financing institutions. So government-owned institutions providing development financing. Again, no, it's similar. It's just that this time these are owned by the government. No? So we have Land Bank. What else? UCPB before, but it's now merged with Land Bank. Uh, I can't think of any other government bank. So I think it's just Land Bank and UCPB. But UCPB now is now merged with Land Bank, like I said. Okay, so those are the 11 different sources of credits in the Philippines. No? As you can see, some of them are overlapping. So meaning commercial banks can extend money for you to borrow, but they're also serve as uh, you can also save money from them. You can as much as you can also borrow money from them. Okay, so now let's talk about the principles governing credit operations. There are five C's. No? So let's talk about one of these C's. Number one, character. So borrower's reputation and trustworthiness. So again, class, no? Whenever you're extending credit to another person, character is very important. You obviously, no? So just in real life, would you still let a person borrow from you if, for example, he defaulted the first time around? No, so that's really a test of character. No, that's how I always put this. No? That's just credit. It's actually a test of your character. Number two, capacity or the ability to pay. So there are different venues where we can look at the capacity of the person, no? Especially if it's a formal credit. So formal credit would be um, a credit between an institution and a person, or an institution and a corporation. So later on, we'll talk about different, again, we'll go back to, uh, establishing your credit worthiness, your credit scores or credit standing. Number three, capital. So borrower's financial investment. For collateral, this is the asset pledge as a security. So we talk about this. No? So say, for example, you're going to avail a housing loan. The collateral would be the house and lot. Um, for pawn shop, for example, they're going to extend you credit in exchange for jewelry, mobile phone, watch. No? So number five, conditions, economic environment, and purpose of loan. So example, banks assessing five C's before approving loans. No? So these are five uh, principles governing the credit operations in the Philippines. International organization extending credit assistance. Number one, World Bank. So World Bank, basically, they're focusing on infrastructure and poverty reduction projects. Number two, IMF, or the International Monetary Fund. So balance of payment support. Third, we have the Asian Development Bank, or the ADB. So its the focus is developmental financing in Asia. So example, ADB funding infrastructure projects in the Philippines. No? So say there's I'm not sure. There's a project that's aiming to link Cavite and Bataan, but I'm not sure if it's an ADB sponsored project. No, we can check on that. But there are infrastructure projects in the Philippines sponsored by ADB, or you know ADB extending funding to the Philippines by way of lesser borrowing interest, or it could be payable at the terms longer than any other institutions can extend. Okay. So class, no, if you notice, we talk about the Philippine setting, then we jump to international organization extending credit assistance as well. But basically, for these international organizations, um, they only engage with the Philippine government, or a private institutions engage also with the Philippine government. Okay, then we talk about Philippinization of credit. So when we talk about Philippinization, how are we actually engaging credit in the Philippines? No? So making it more local. So the policy encouraging Filipino ownership and control of credit institutions. No? So basically, Philippinization of credit is making sure that we have ample law covering or encouraging Filipino ownership and controlling the credit institutions. So, for example, we want more rural banks, more cooperatives owned by Filipinos. So it promotes local participation in banking and finance. Now, example, laws prioritizing Filipino-owned banks and cooperatives. So again, the rationale behind this is we want it to be more local. So Filipinos supporting Filipino establishments. So let's just wrap up, no? So what we've talked about this morning. So the concept of credit. This is an economic exchange based on trust and time. Deferred payment arrangement with interest, no, facilitates capital formation and economic growth. Regulated in the Philippines by Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, or BSP. So common example would be Small Medium Enterprise Expansion Loan from Banco de Oro or BDO. So financial intermediation process in the Philippines. So we have savers, how it could be households or OFWs. Then we have the financial institutions. So savers saving their money through BPI, land bank, or rural banks. Then we have borrowers, or the small medium enterprises, farmers, and consumers. So this is how financial process works. So we have us saving money to BPI or land bank or BDO. BPI, land bank, or BDO now extending credit to small medium enterprises, farmers, and consumers to finance their businesses. So they have expansion. So for farmers to uh, proceed with their farming activities. No? So this is how financial intermediation process works. Mm. So major sources, again, we talk about different. Actually, we have talked about 11 sources. So commercial banks, no, more on the formal side. Rural banks, government financing institutions. Yeah, another government bank is the Development Bank of the Philippines, or DBP. Investment houses, insurance companies. Now, in more informal credit sectors, we have pawn shops, individual lenders, or 5/6, and then retail installment financing. Oops. We also talk about 5 Cs: character, credit history, CIC data. Now let's talk about CIC data in our next slide. Capacity, no? The cash flow, debt ratios. We need to know if this person or institution has the capacity to pay us. No? So we look at their cash flow. We look at their financial statements. Then we look at also their debt ratios. No? So debt ratios is in terms of capitalization, how much of that is financed by debt. Capital. No? So we look at the borrower equity position. Collateral, uh, secured assets. Conditions could be BSP rates and the macroeconomic climate. Let's talk about CIC. No? CIC, this is the Credit Information Corporation, no, in the Philippines. It's government-owned central credit registry of the Philippines, created under RA 9510, or the Credit Information System Act of 2008. The function of this CIC, number one, collects and consolidates credit data from banks and financing institutions. It also provides credit history to help lenders assess borrower risk. So this is quite important, especially in assessing, no, the capacity of a person or of an institution to pay its loans. So when applying for a bank loan, your payment history is checked through CIC records. No? So we have this formal uh, law, basically, making sure that the lender as well as the borrowers are protected. Then we talk about the international credit assistance. No? So we look at World Bank, IMF, Asian Development Bank. I think this one is new. No? So we have IFC, or the International Finance Corporation, that basically IFC, its role is more on supporting private sector investments. No? So examples again, ADB funding, Philippine Railway Systems. Again, no, Philippinization of credit, promotion of Filipino ownership in banking and finance, supported by constitutional foreign ownership limits, strengthens domestic capital formation. Example, the preference of Filipino-owned rural banks. Okay, so class, let's pause for a 5-minute break, and then we'll talk about another topic. No? So let's pause for a 5-minute break. No? So stretch muna kayo, get a glass of water, and then we'll resume in 5 minutes.